What's up YouTube? Back again, Jay's Vape HQ. So today we have the Vandy Vapes Phobia RDA. Now I don't know if you can see that right. Is it gonna focus? Nope. Okay, well you'll see it on a close-up anyway. I'm not going to give you too much of a description on it now. We're going to take it down, going to break it up, see what's inside, show you what's inside the box, put a build in there, and we'll give it a shot. See you soon. The Phobia RDA. Vandy Vape, thank you very much. It was purely on the basis of a competition that was on Facebook at the time. Thought I'd enter, and luckily I came out on top and won that one. So yes, once again, thank you very much for that opportunity. But now it's time to give it a rundown and see what we have. So I have been vaping on this now for about a week. I wanted to give it a good test, see, put a couple different types of coils in there, get my own feel for it. But as you can see, it comes in this lovely little box in here. Typical cheap plastic, but does the job. Holds the item. I scratched it already. That's not good. It's a bit embroidered there. Says Vandy Vape. And then this here. So we have the RDA. Let's just pop that out of there. Is it going to come out? There we go. So yeah, there is the RDA itself. As you can see, the Phobia. Nice and shiny, nice and clean. There's your serial number 002091, manufactured by Vandy Vape. There we go. So you got your original 810 drip tip, which is now refusing to come off. Bear with me. So a little jump cut there. So yeah, no more fear, no more phobia. You have no worries about this falling off in your pocket. There is an O-ring inside there which has absolutely phenomenal grip. I mean, yeah, I just had to have a little bit of a fight to get that one off. I had to use a pair of pliers. But yeah, no more fear, no more phobias. Now let's just pop the top off this one. So that one was a little bit easier, but this is the build deck. As you can see, it is a bit wet, as I did have another build in there, but it's time to rebuild it, so I thought I may as well do the video this time round. You've got Phobia on the side there. I presume that's painted. It's definitely not. It's not engraved in there at all. Some Phillips head screws, little grub screws there. You got, wouldn't say a lot of room, so I wouldn't really go for, say, a 20 gauge in this, because it might just be a bit of a pain. But there is plenty of room to put many different types of builds in there. Obviously you got your positive and negative, so you got your peak insulator here, one peak insulator on the bottom there, some nice threading, got a little washer here to hold the top cap on, which does hold the top cap on. I've had no issues of it coming off at all, but it does come off easier than the drip tip does. So this is the interesting bit, the airflow. Now, is this camera going to focus? Come on. Nearly there. This is taking its time, isn't it? Okay, let's try putting it in the center. We're still not going to get any luck out of this at all. There we go, that's a bit better. So we got a downwards airflow there and one on the side there. Now this does come straight up through the side, and that does look like it's the peak insulator that separates that and just pushes it straight up, but there's no real channeling for it. So we will see that in a moment, exactly what effect that does have on the RDA. You can put single and dual coil builds in here. I have put my Juggernaut builds in there. Generally I do prefer to put a twin build in there, as it generally tends to be better, as also I will explain in a moment. But yeah, this is basically the RDA, postless-ish style. Nice deep well in there. I've had no issues with it leaking, though you would think it would leak with the way the airflows are situated. But if you are filling it up right, then you wouldn't have no issues. I wouldn't advise over dripping on the coils, but yeah, you should be fine as long as you don't mess around too much, really. So that is the build deck. Now here we do have the top cap. Bear with me. The top cap, as you can see, it's slightly wet in there from my poor preparation for this video. I just couldn't wait, as I was going to rebuild, but oh well, I will clean it before I put the new build on there. So yeah, it's beveled inside, which they do say is better for the airflow and better for the flavour. Couldn't verify myself. I don't really notice the difference that much, but I don't have 200 RDAs like a lot of other people do. I've got plenty, but nowhere near that many. Your airflow is quite tight, so when you pop this on, there is only, I'd say, about 1.5 millimeters upwards of the airflow. It is adjustable, but to be honest, I would not adjust it from what it is. You don't really get much of a difference from what I can tell. Obviously it's a bit tighter on the draw, but you'll understand if you're ever to try it yourself. Now we will then move on to what else is in the box. Also in this box you will get another top cap. So the other top cap, it's quite similar, apart from you have this, which I presume is put in there purely for the simple fact of it is made of some form of polymer plastic, so it will reduce the amount of heat that you are taking in. It is also wider, so you will get much more air through there, presumably more flavour as well. You won't get the heat from it, as it is not really a heat conductive material, and it is also beveled just like the stainless steel one we have here. So I'll pop that back on there, and this is exactly the same design. I don't believe there is any difference in size. No, there's not really much difference in size, maybe 0.5 millimeter, if that. No, I'd probably say the same. Unfortunately, I do not have a measuring tool to test that. Also in the box, underneath this little flap, we have your bag of goodies. So we have a nice little Allen key there, some spare grub screws. These grub screws do fall out really easily if you do loosen it too much, but these are the hexagonal Allen key grub screws. Should you prefer to use the Allen key, I do prefer to use the Phillips head screws myself, as they don't round off as easy. And it comes with a Phillips head screwdriver, your spare washers, and your 510 adapter. On top of that, if you are interested in this sort of thing, you have your bottom feed squonk pin, which is also a hexagonal Allen key fitting. So let's whack a build in it, and yeah, we'll see what it's like. So now we've got a lovely little build in here. Well, say lovely, it is far from my best build, to be honest, but it's even firing, looks nice. So now we're going to wick it up, take it out, see what we can do. And we're back again. So, Phobia RDA. Now, thoughts. Let's see. Build deck. It's alright to build with. It can be a little bit fiddly just because of the way the posts come up on the side. So it can be a bit awkward to get it in there. But we have a build in there now. Can we see? Yeah, there we can. Not the best build in the world, but hey, it'll do. Made sure it's within regulation, obviously. I'm using a mechanical mod, so it's firing out at 0.16 with a VTC 5A battery. Always make sure that I'm using the correct battery for my mechanical mods, as you should too. No rips in there. Look after your batteries, because we don't want no instances of people going to hospital now. So, initial thoughts on this RDA. As I say, build deck, it's alright, it's not great. Purely just the way them posts come up at the side, it gets in the way a little bit. I don't like the way of having the open grub screws, purely just for the simple fact of I just have that little phobia, if you will, of the screws coming out. Although I know it's designed not to do that. Jay, don't say things like that. That's my personal opinion. This is a review. I say what I think of it. You don't like it. There's plenty of others out. But as for a vape, now I've got the top cap on with the plastic beveling, just to ensure I don't burn myself and all that nonsense. So, let's give it a go. Whoa. Okay. It's great on cloud, great on flavour. Hello. But, yeah. There is an issue. Can you hear? Let's stop blowing it over the camera. Close the kitchen door so it doesn't go in the house. It's very loud, it's very whistly. Now, I think when I showed you the image of the peak insulator showing through the bottom where the air isn't actually channeled, it just kind of bounces off that insulator and just goes up. That's what's causing it to have this noise and the very, very narrow airflow. Sorry if my voice sounds shaky, it is bloody freezing out here. Welcome to the UK. So, very loud, but flavourful, clean. Build deck isn't the best. It could have been better. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Today I am vaping on some of the Riot Squad's Forest Fruit Shorty from the Risen range. Bottle's a bit beat up because it's been sitting in my pocket as I've been dripping it all day. It is an amazing flavour, but we're not here to talk about that. You want to see my review for that? Then check it out. It is on my channel. It was the first video that I put up there. As for the RDA itself, I don't know. Pros. You can have dual coil and single coil. That's one good thing. You can choose as to whether you prefer the grub screws with the hexagon Allen key fitting, or you can use the Phillips head. It's another good side. Airflow, it's got a fair intake, but as I say, changing the amount of airflow, it's got a pull on it. It does. And it doesn't affect the flavour, doesn't affect the cloud in any way. It's just down to personal preference, as any airflow would be. It does, on the other hand, reduce the whistle. So I've got that halfway open at the moment, and it's not whistling at me. Vapor production is phenomenal, but it is a mechanical mod, so I can't really comment on that, though I'd say my battery's only about half charged. So it's still got a good performance out of it. So it's got good cloud, it's got the good flavour. Not so good on the build deck, purely because of them posts. The airflow, it could have been improved. I don't like the idea of having the bottom as well as the top. You don't get much splashback from it, I'll admit, because when you're dripping juice and if it does go down the airflow, when you're sucking it back up again, it goes back onto the coil. Although if you have over dripped it, it will spit, obviously, as any RDA. When it comes down to squonking, now I have tried it with squonking. I'm not sure as to whether I like it or not. They've got this little cap over where the squonk pin would go. I presume that's designed to feed the liquid out, although it actually is slower for feeding. It would take a hell of a lot in order for you to be able to over squonk it, so it would leak out the tank purely because of the way the airflow is designed. I think that would probably be why the airflow was designed in that particular way. On the other hand, you'd be pretty hard to over squonk it, to be honest, purely because of the way that little cap is over there to try and channel it to both ends. I can see where you're coming from, but maybe you should have raised it up slightly higher. It is a little on the low side. Still cloud coming out. Right, onto the cons. Obviously, we've got the airflow, we've got the build deck. It is a standard 24mm, so it will fit on the average, 18650 mechanical mod. It will fit on most, I won't say all, because I don't know of any myself, but most of the regulated mods. I can't see any issue there. But I'd say a 7. Flavour production and cloud production is great. It is phenomenal. The idea of sending you the two separate barrels, so you can have that little change, that's a nice idea. Some people don't like to have the entire stainless steel barrel because they do burn their lips, because they're using regulated mods and they're putting high builds in there. Well, high resistance builds in there, so it does get quite hot quite quick. So having the plastic top cap is a pretty good idea. Still not too sure on the beveling. That don't make no difference to me. I've never noticed any difference, but if there is a difference, then hey, it's got a beveled top cap and maybe you like that. But yeah, I would give it a 7 purely on the grounds of the way the airflow is designed, the way the pin is, the squonk pin, and you've got that top cap. Either remove it or raise it. That would be a good idea, Vandy Vape. I think, maybe something to accommodate for in the future when you bring out your next RDA. The juice well is very deep. You don't have to drip all the time. I mean, still not getting a dry hit. Okay, O's don't work outside, but oh well. Yeah, so 6 to a 7 purely on them features, but I do like the fact that they have accommodated for there being the stainless steel top and the Pyrex plastic sort of material, whatever they've used. I don't know what it's called. I'm not that technical into it, but I do understand where they've come from with it. It does reduce the amount of heat conductivity, so you don't burn your lips when you're taking it in. The other drip tip that does come on there is quite short, so it would be quite easy to burn your lips on there. But yeah, I think that's all I've got to say on this one, I'm afraid. If you do have any questions, please feel free, ask in the comments. I will drop them in there. I'll also drop a link in the comments for you to go and buy the RDA. I'll also drop a link for the Riot Squad Risen range, should you be interested, and any links in relation to the mod that I have used, any battery safety information, it will all be down in the description. So like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more.